there. Hopefully I reconnected okay and nothing too crazy has happened. Trust me, I didn't say anything interesting in that period. So I think, we're going to move on now to either, do some scoring and juicing up a little bit, I think. So let's at least give ourselves a basic like score tracker here, right? Let's give ourselves some kind of state. We back. Let's give ourselves a score, which is going to start at 0. Let's put these here. Let's do final int perfect score. So if it's perfect, maybe we get 10 points. If it's great, then maybe it's, I don't know, 5. And if it's okay, give ourselves, I don't know, 2 points. That seems fair. Seems reasonable to me. We could make ourselves feel better about ourselves and just multiply these all by 10 because big numbers are more fun. Then I think what I'll do is just when I trigger these hits, I'm going to say, I'm just going to add that straight to the score. Okay, and now we can draw the score somewhere, right? So right now we draw this playback position, and to be honest, I don't think we need this. So I'm just going to draw the score in the same kind of position. I've got no frame of reference for text size. Oh, we can't really see that. Okay. Okay, that seems to be working reasonably well. I think these games often always have some kind of combo multiplier as well, right? So let's try starting that at 1. Let's draw Is this how I do it? How do I do text alignment here? Text align. Right, okay. So to draw this stuff went on the left, so let's do text align left there. Text align right here. And let's just take our combo multiplier and put like an X next to it. And now we'll just do width -10. Okay, how does this look? Okay, draws it up there just fine. So let's multiply this by the combo multiplier. So I think what we're going to need to also do now is somehow so when does the combo multiplier get reset? Is it? It is, right? I like it. It makes me feel sophisticated. I know, yeah, I'd never thought of that. Yeah, so basically if a note gets way out of range down the bottom, At a certain point, we need to class it as a failure, right? If it's gone way below the line. So we have these thresholds for how close it needs to be. You know, if it's within a certain threshold, it's perfect. If it's within a wider threshold, it's good. If it's within an even wider threshold, it's okay. But if this entire like set of thresholds here is like, you know, below the thing entirely, then we can rule this note out, right? You failed to hit it, you get no score, and your combo probably gets reset. So what I want to do is say something like, let's say, let's call it flush or detect failed hits, maybe. Then we can make a little function to do that. So what I'm going to do here is, it's kind of similar code to what we do when the button is pressed. So the playback position. Okay, I'm going to copy paste this and then we'll edit out the stuff we actually care about. So to detect failed hits, basically I want to loop through every note in the song that hasn't already been triggered. You know, when I hit it, it gets marked a little Boolean flag as triggered. So if something gets below the line, too far below the line, and hasn't yet been triggered, then we can flag it as we can count it as a failure and then flag it as triggered, so we don't consider it again. So let's say, okay, we do need this stuff. So that's too late. That's too early. Okay, I think that should work. Okay, so that's fine. Okay, I'm going to say if the time diff is greater than OK tolerant seconds, then this is when we know we've failed, right? Say missed note or missed hit. And then I'm just going to reset the combo multiplier back to 1. How does this normally, like, how often does combo multiply go up? Maybe every like 10 hits or something, the combo multiplier can go up. I don't know. Let's say final int combo up interval is 10. And then we can have a combo up counter starting at 0. And I can add it here, right? Okay. I'm going to start to repeat some logic here. So I think I will do is, let's actually do, keep track of our matched hit, which will be null here. And what I'm going to do instead here is say matched hit is equal to hit, and then break out. Because there's some common logic we kind of want to do here. So yeah. So we pull out the common stuff. And now I can say if match hit, if match hit is null, then it's a bad hit. We can also then set combo multiplier to 1, and we can set the combo up counter, is that what we called it? Also back to 0. Else we did hit something, so I can say matched hit. Hey Godzilla, how's it going? Like that is triggered. And increase the combo up counter, and I can say if now the combo up counter has reached this interval, then we can like double the combo multiplier, or just add 1 maybe. And then reset that counter as well. Ah! Sorry, Gothic. Why did I call you Godzilla? I see, I see that Go and that like Shi Ji, and I'm used to in katakana. I'm used to seeing Godzilla. So yeah, that's my like. You know when you look at a word and you don't actually read it, you just assume that it says something that you're used to kind of looking like that. Yeah, that's what happened. Sorry, no offense. just lazy reading. I think I want to make this multiplier just an integer now, because I don't think we'll ever have a non-integer one. That seems nicer. I can just increment this like this. Reset this here. So I suppose. Oh. I'm calling you a cultural legend. Or something. I don't know. I'm sorry. Yeah. So we actually need that matched it up here. And also break. Multiplier goes back to 1. Okay, so I think. Nope, should be 1. Don't need to return here either. That makes sense. Oh, okay. It's doing it the wrong way around. We don't want an absolute. We want this to actually be only this way around, right? So if the playback position is ahead of the hit time of a particular beat by a certain amount. You know, you could even say it here, since there's only one case to consider. Then we get a missed hit. Let's just check that that logic is working. So if we wait. Okay, it's flagging them as missed when we're too late. And we're racking up a combo multiplier here until I missed. Okay, there we go. The sound is very reminiscent of DirectX 7 SDK. All I remember is that DX Diag tool. Do you remember this thing? Or there was like a test mode you could run. Yeah, I don't know specifically that reference for the DirectX 7 one. Voids, okay. Yeah, we actually did voids on one of these streams. think of voids, I think of like flocking. So we did something like that. This is basically voids, right? Like the way you have this tracking and following and separation behavior. Unless again, that's something else, maybe named after this technique, which I'm not familiar with. Okay, anyway, so I think we now have our combo working, right? So if I get 10 hits, I think we should see this rack up. Feels about right. Okay, we're getting a big old combo. I guess we should have a maximum multiplier, right? Let's call it. Probably should also be 10. Seems reasonable to me. To this one, so we just kind of limit that. Okay. So I feel like we have a pretty good scoring thing going on here. There's no fail state, but do we need one? I don't know. Okay, I'm going to tick it off the list anyway. I feel reasonably satisfied with that. Okay. So the only thing really to do now is add a bit of juice to this. So I think So this is introducing something we don't have before. So all of the positioning has been driven by the playback position in seconds of the music track, right? We're not really doing animation in the traditional sense. We're just looking at the current position in the track and then drawing everything based on that, right? Like this whole... all of this stuff is not like, you know, there are no objects corresponding to these things which we're like moving. Just every frame we're looking at the current time and then we're drawing all of the notes in their appropriate position, which obviously gives the effect of animation and movement because the music's progressing. But there is no like state associated with these things, right? So in order to have some effects in the UI, let me print screen here. By the way, Gothic, what's the origin of your name? Death Eater's a Harry Potter reference, right? I think I just remembered. I forget who the Death Eaters were specifically. But basically, if we want to do something like when we hit this note to have some fancy graphics which animate over a bit of time, or to have the note like fade out or anything like that, then we now need to track some UI related state to do with these things, if that makes sense. Which is kind of annoying. I like the pure approach we have of just drawing the state of the track based on the current playback position. We already have some of that, which is that we have this little Boolean flag on each note, which tracks whether it's been triggered or not. So maybe instead, what we could do is remember when it was triggered and potentially if it was triggered due to success or failure, like whether you missed the note or whether you hit the note successfully. So we could have something like a little enum here. For the hit state, it can be, let's say, pending, hit, or missed. Then we can have and then something like this is not super clean, but I'm kind of okay with this since it's part of the philosophy of these coding streams that we allow ourselves to kind of hack things together for the fun of it. That's an appending state. Does it not like my enum here? Yeah, enums are weird and nested things are weird in processing, which kind of annoys me. I could do this with a constant, but oh, that seems nasty. Will it even let me do a static? Old school, super old school enum. Okay, yeah, let me do that. I will accept this. Normally, yeah, I would just nest an enum in here, an enum type inside the hit, but it won't let me do that. So now we can do something like, rather than setting it triggered, if hit.state is not equal to... Oh, actually we can probably do like a switch based on this now, right? So for now we'll leave that out. And when we set or change the state, right, so the state becomes track data.hit hit success. Is that right? Yes. And then when we miss the thing, which is somewhere else as part of this. Okay, so hit dot state is equal to failed. Did we call it failed or missed? Probably missed. Hit success, hit failure. Okay. This is pleasing to me that these all line up because they're exactly the same length. Okay. Dot state is not equal to dot hit. Okay, so if we're not pending, try my ambience back on here. Okay, now the only different thing is how we draw them, right? So I think what I'll do is have a little switch here, right? So switch hit dot state. Case when it's pending, we're just going to draw it exactly as normal here. When it is failure, maybe use another image. So it might be kind of cool if we'll go back to the right folder. If we switch out this hit marker for a broken version, so just give myself a slightly larger canvas. And then I will just kind of split it down the middle. I'm not an artist, so I'm sorry. So I can just take this, put it on a new layer, and then just kind of move it around, so it just conveys the sense of it being broken, right? Rotate this layer as well. Looks kind of sad. This works to me. Let's call this failure. So now we can load this image in as well. Failure. Do something similar for success as well. You know what, I should probably crop this a little bit more tightly. Did I get it right? Okay, seems okay. Export that. Back. Now, if you succeed, I'm just going to give it kind of glow. My sneaky non-artist programmer way of making it glow is to copy the layer here and then just kind of blur it a bit and then tweak the colors. So I can just use this curve tool here if it wouldn't lock up. Something really weird about this image. Whenever I load it, it screws up my image editing here. So I can sort of curve that up, then pop it behind the original layer. So now we have a bit of a glow, and then we can just play around by, you know, colorizing this thing if we like. Although I suppose it's already going to be colorized by tinted to match the color of the note that it is, right? So maybe this won't do too much. Maybe the glow's fine. Let's call it success. Export. Cool. So crop this back down again. Ooh, maybe not. That's not going to count for all the blur, so might need to be a bit bigger. Okay, if we get all the fringe there. There is a tool to like crop to content. Okay, probably means the blur's already slightly overlapping the edge, so not ideal, but we'll see if there's any visual effect of this. Okay, so now when I load the success one in as well. Now when we draw these, we can start off by just switching them out. Are we always going to tint the same? No, I don't think we will. Okay. For now we will, but in future I think we're going to want to have them fade out and stuff like that. So if it's success or failure, we show the requisite images. And now if we try playing this, probably it will not work because I did something wrong. Okay. Key pressed if hit dot state is not equal to it's not pending, continue. Okay. Okay, you can see them breaking as we fail. Okay, we're seeing some weird Z fighting stuff going on. But the visual effect of them lighting up is there at least. I think I maybe will just amp that up a bit more. Just so it's like super visible. Like I could detect it, but it wasn't satisfying in the least. Okay, there's definitely some weird alpha stuff going on here. So I think maybe blur this out a bit more. Okay. Now we can do something like changing how they're rendered to kind of fade them out. So is equal to actually hit dot. Let's do this. We can search for other cases where we set the state. Okay, I think that covers everything. And then hit dot state time. That's a time since hit. And the alpha is going to be we've got some visual stuff, so it kind of relates to timing, but it doesn't affect gameplay, right? It's purely like a audio-visual juicy thing. It's not a gameplay specific thing, so I feel it belongs in this section. Let's just say half a second. So now when we draw these things, I'm going to say divided by. Okay, so if the time since hit is greater than or equal to fade time seconds, then it's going to be 0. Otherwise, it's going to be 1 minus the kind of proportion we have here, right? Maybe a slightly nicer way to specify this is just clamping this between 0 and 1. That's what I really intended to do. Um, okay. Realizing a lot of this logic is going to be exactly the same for success, so I will probably find a way to duplicate this a bit. So, no, it works like this, doesn't it? Red. The red component of note color, the green component of note color, the blue component of note color, and alpha. I think I can just do it like this, right? I will check tint if it takes alpha 0 to 1 or 0 to 255 or whatever. Alpha float opacity doesn't super help. Okay, it's probably mapped up to 255. So, like that. For now, I'm just going to copy paste this for the other case. And I'm realizing in my heart of hearts that I'm just going to leave it that way. I could factor that out, but I've got no excuse why I'm not going to do it. I'm just not. Yeah, okay. Okay, these don't overlay over each other super well. But there is a way I could handle that. Given they're on a black background, I could probably just use additive blending, which would make the transparency layer nicely without needing to worry about sorting and drawing these in a particular order. Just given the nature of these particular graphics. Blend mode? Is that a thing? Blend mode, add, okay. Add is what we want. So we'll do this here, and we'll turn it back to normal afterwards. I guess it's called normal. You never use additive blending, it's just a kind of like how you do layers in Photoshop, right? Well, that really didn't work. Can I disable some kind of depth buffer stuff? Pressing getting to like some of this tweaking that I'm now inclined to do is not really what processing is made for. If I want to I kind of want to do is just disable the depth, right? Ooh. Hello. Very interesting. So how do I Will this just work? Could be interesting. Yeah, when you deal with transparencies, you have to start getting into sorting or drawing things in a particular way and caring about the blend modes and stuff. Not quite. It's weird to me that with additive blend this would even happen. I feel like it shouldn't. It's also possible that some of these push pop matrix things actually screw with blend modes. I know that's... I think there's more stuff covered in that push pop stack, including some styling, other state stuff. I don't know, I'm kind of guessing now. I'm getting into processing internals, which I've never really looked that deep into the source code. I submitted one bug report on P5 due to relating to text rendering, but aside from that I haven't really dug too much into the code. Okay, so let's just do this. How do I turn off a hint? Okay, so you have enable and disable pairs, do we? So, okay, so first of all, I do want it to be additive. And actually, it's just when I draw these things here, right? So disable the depth test, and then we shall put it back. So I think with no depth test and additive blending, these should just stack up nicely. It's not really working, is it? What is happening here? If I merge this, can I just check the alpha channel? So there is an option here to okay, I think maybe there's a weird format on the image. So maybe that's what that relates to. Just however these images are exported, I'm getting weird issues with them in GIMP, which is my editor, and I think it may be to do with the image color mode or something. Yeah, it's using index color. Okay. That's no good. Okay, maybe we're better off now. Okay, we're actually getting nicer alpha effects on these now. Yeah, these are weird artifacts, and I'm not sure why they're happening, and I'm not going to dig too deep into fixing them. I feel like this is when processing is great for so many things, but there's a certain point at which it tries to hide things from you, or like not make you have to deal with things, but at a certain point to debug or whatever, you end up wanting to mess around with those things. So, and then it becomes harder than it otherwise would be without using it. Which is why I kind of use it for toy projects and prototypes really more than anything else. So I think what I'll do is, yeah, maybe we just run quickly through the track and try and like map out the actual musical pattern of it. And then, yeah, maybe we can call it done at that point. So that's where this line of code I had to skip into the track will become useful. But for now, let's just check what we have so far, and then we'll kind of move on from there. The nice thing about this being in text format is I can like copy paste stuff, right? So that's almost right. Like this was fine, but there's something weird here which doesn't quite fit. Actually, on the end of the last stream, I was fiddling around with this for like 10-15 minutes. So this is where the art, you know, of like mapping and placing these notes to have it feel like you're playing the song kind of comes in. Okay, that was kind of close. Let's put the skip back. I bet it's to right in front of this point because this is something I was playing around with last time. Okay, that works actually. So we just need to copy this one a second time. And I think this is mostly good. Let's play through it, and it probably continues afterwards, so we can extend this out a wee bit more. Actually, this repeats here, I believe, and then there's points where I move from like A to B to C when actually the song is playing the same note over and over, so I probably shouldn't do that. The timing's right, but like what I've called A, what I've called B, and what I've called C is not quite. So also, really is the same note. Still tweaking. Spent ages doing this. So I guess it's actually a higher kind of note, so I should probably do dun 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 dun. actually that's a different pattern there. It's more like Let me figure this one out. Ah. Okay. Trying to make this feel right, you know, there's no probably correct answer, but it's actually more like maybe like this. There's like a little double note there. She repeats that same thing several times. I don't know if I should keep it exactly the same here or tweak it just for the sake of finger variety. The tweaking. waiting. Same again. And again, perhaps. Yep. Times. Okay. Didn't have a break there. I'm not sure what put note-wise, to be honest. Okay, so I think mapping out this whole track is not going to be the most exciting content. What I may do is have one final run through for the part that we did map out so far and just see what kind of score I can rack up. I mean, I've got no frame of reference for this, so not the most exciting climax to the stream, but let's have some fun with it. You definitely do get that Guitar Hero sense of like taking more credit than you deserve for actually playing the song. You know, it's at least close enough that you feel that association, if that makes sense. These chords feel quite nice as well. Yeah, that may be true. I mean, for a trained guitarist, Andrew. Just the act of like, just to strum a guitar is not that easy. There's definitely an art to like mapping the notes, especially when you have multiple difficulty levels, which these games tend to have, with different like arrangements of notes or hits, you know, in the game to kind of align with that. I think I only missed one note there right at the end. I'm blaming you, Andrew. Okay, I think that's about it for today. We've got more or less this working. We've pretty much ticked off the things we had on our checklist in terms of scoring and at least some minimal juice. Maybe I should have added floating text, but managed to avoid that. There's my score. Yeah. I'll throw this up on the GitHub in a couple of days if you fancy downloading and trying yourself. See if you can beat my world record, current world record here. Yeah, I think that's all good. This was fun. If you check our Twitter, which I will link here, then there'll be a poll coming through sometime next week about the next topic to do. So, you know, so the voting last time was to continue the rhythm game. I really want to try this Lemmings clone, and I'm also interested in doing some kind of agent-based, like virtual life type thing, where there are lots of independent, simple but, you know, numerous little independent AI things moving around to do something, whatever that may be, like, I don't know, like a virtual ant colony or something like that, who knows. Yeah, I guess that's it for today, and I will, I guess, leave this track playing in the background. I don't know. Thanks for tuning in, everyone. Bye-bye.